So I went to I graduated from an all-boys high school, and then the only college I got into was Sarah Lawrence College, which at the time was 70% women. And I found, you know, you go to a school where there's a really large gay community, and you've never been to a party until you've been with a bunch of people who've never been allowed to party publicly with each other. And it's like the greatest joy in your life is to be with people who finally feel safe and comfortable, like having fun.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was kind of remarkable. And I realized, like, for me, you know, I've been warned literally by my resident advisor freshman year, like, you're going to look like prey. You're one of like 12 heterosexual men in a school, and you know, it was like weird, you know. And what I realized was going to parties like that, like, some people come out of the closet in one way, and some people come out of the closet in another way, and more and more different ways. And I realized, like, I have to figure out, based on that heroic model, like, who I am and how I sort of discover who I am, whatever that might be. And I wrote this poem back then, and it's gone through iterations, and I loved hearing Warren's sort of description of the process, you know.
You might need to raise the
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey.
Cool.
Can you hear it better this way?
Yeah.
A lot better. So I just, thinking about the process of how a poem evolves,
Yes.
I wanted to read this most recent version. My mother was a dance teacher, a ballet teacher in the housing projects in Detroit in the summer of '68 when she got pregnant with me. And by the time, you know, there were riots, so she was taken out of the projects in a van by the Black Panthers to assure her safety, and then came to Philadelphia and delivered me down the street at Jefferson. So I think about that dancing. And this is called Dancing with Herself Again after all these years. She tries to trim memories from her mind with the brutal gardening shears of guilt and shame, feels fear more than her own gut pain, finds that losing consciousness is as easy as achieving hindsight, misguided by the stigmatism of armed resistance, more productive from lack of judgment on a single evening than with a conscious decision, fists blackening her eyes more than makeup can cover the bruising. Years later, she awakes with someone she's met while drinking away ideas of who she should have been, heterosexual, sane. Instead, she dances in front of life-size mirrors, even in darkness, fear dripping from her pores, like shell casings off exquisite artillery, budgets beer into her economy until it becomes a less than profitable business. Associates close conferences with laughter of a dozen dizzy, drunken clowns till she cries, then dances again, wet and wide open irises, the black pitch of blind curveballs into night. After that, she makes syrupy sweetness her industry, thinks travel will guide her to find who she can really be, rises up nocturnally, immerses herself in an underwater swim, that same swirling dance connecting furious rage to effective anger, slips into dreams of flight across imaginary skies, ejects my father from each cicada shell with airy jabs, futile feints amounting to nothing but self-delusion. If only there were a light blue space in each soulful vacant lot, would she park the stolen car of her adolescence across empty space, salted with broken glass shards and peppered to the rubber gaskets of its gills, tilting windmills till the windows filled with costumes of many secret selves, like airing laundry inside classrooms creased with wrinkled students, ironing them out hot and creased before the living sun goes down, becoming who she's always wanted to be. Memory's mirror reflects only an incomplete figure by menopause, and she sways in place, arms representing the new growth of each decade season, and says, "I'm not who I think I am," and dances under the wet towel of brilliance, blowing back breath hot to the exits. She repeats to herself, "Forget what you see," and forest fires across some vast estate of her mind that twists her feet into perfect pirouettes and bounds back upwards through the spinning tornadoes of childhood, juggles youth's strange slippery fish in 50-year-old hands that sift silos of slaughtered grain for a needle from one of many haystacks that holds the answer. She steps back onto dry land and remembers the earth is always moving. Youth, both the cool night in autumn at age 14 when she met my father, as much as the heat hiding in her experienced arms at this mysterious midlife crisis. Both the music and the silence of bearing children, the clothes that hide her naked rage as much as this sunset, as little as folding night's lonely origami. She wanted to love someone at every added candle, but waited. Now finds herself butterfly kissing goodbye with a wink less difficult to forgive, full body seizing furiously into light, becoming someone we will see undressing in the rain, performing ballet on the sea, dancing upon each and every wave.